Hello everybody, welcome to another new player deck guide. Today we're going to be talking about Finn Edwards, the only realistic character in this game because he only has one brain. If this is your first time ever watching one of these videos...
That's not true. Diana Stanley only has one brain. She just collects other people's.
Sure, okay, true. The most human character. If you haven't seen one of these videos, we build a deck from just counting 2 core sets and the cycle in which the character came from. If you only have one core set, we recommend you pick up another or proxy the cards you don't have. It will help you win more. In addition, I know I'm going to be talking about this as it comes, but if you're a new player, you might have heard of this thing called the taboo list. With this deck, we're recommending you just ignore it and play with the cards as printed, because there is one of the cards that I can't believe before it was tabooed we never played with, because it's so strong. We'll get to that, though. Finn is weird. He only has 1 brain, 4 book, 4 foot, and 3 fist. And also on his turn, you may take an additional action which can only be used to evade. He runs away from all of his problems really well, and you're going to probably be aiming to use that evade like as much as you can. That free evade, anytime you get that going, things are great. His star ability usually ends up being a 0 more often than not. However, the succeed by 2 or more actually is pretty
Sometimes
great when it's able to trigger.
Test.
Yeah. Finn's a bit weird. Travis and I have both played Finn at the table. I don't think Bryn has played him with one of our groups, but his personal cards aren't really what you're doing with Finn. At least when I played and when Travis played. Am I correct with that, Travis?
His gun commits for 2 foot.
Sorry?
So that's not true. His gun commits for 2 foot.
It's true. And the smuggled goods commits for 1 foot. Or 1 brain if you want to have 2.
Yeah. Smuggled goods is actually like pretty okay.
Yeah.
Because can help you find like I think pickpocketing is illicit.
We'll get to that. We'll see that when we get there. But
there are illicit cards that are worth finding.
Yeah. If you do go that route, there's tons of things you can do with him, and I'm just kind of putting that out there right now, that unfortunately for this guide I don't have much on the illicit Finn, but I do imagine Bryn will have some input on that one. His gun lets you shoot and kills enemies not engaged with you, which is very easy to do because you're going to be running away from all your problems for free, mind you. And the smuggled goods does let you find illicit cards, and then if you search your deck with it, you get to return it to your deck, which is pretty nice because then you can find more. His weakness is also a weird one, where more times than not, you're just gonna draw it and be like, I have not drawn a card this turn, and then you shuffle it back into your deck.
Yeah. It's worth noting that the Trusty 38 would be one of the best weapons in the game if it could be played by somebody else.
Yeah.
That being said, being played in Finn, it is still a pretty reasonable way to deal with monsters. You get up to 5 fight, you get the extra damage if they're not engaged with you, and why would they be?
Yeah, exactly.
I think Finn's caught red-handed is actually more of like a safety valve for like solo Finn playing, or like playing Finn once you have stealth, so you can't just ignore every enemy in the game forever.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's not so much designed to like be super punishing.
Yeah. All right. Let's start going to the core cards first. We have Flashlight, which helps you investigate. So Finn has 4 book, which means he's actually pretty all right at getting clues. And with a few simple things, you become a lot better at getting clues. Flashlight is one of them. It's a very strong card that's basically like a perception for all of your tests when it comes to it. And it helps you get clues what you're going to be doing. Dr. Milan Christopher also helps with that, turning you up to 5 book, which is really comfortable for the majority of the locations in the game. And it also gives you resources, which are always good, especially in green. Leo DeLuca, he gives you more actions to do more things. So now, including your free evade, you get 5 actions a turn when you have Leo DeLuca in play. That's pretty great. Taking 5 a turn is because you are going to be evading. Like, you're going to be evading a lot with Finn. Like, if you're not evading, like, what are you doing?
If you don't have the Dunwich Legacy pack that Charisma came in, it might be worth just like it's the easiest card to proxy in the game. You can actually just write like Charisma and spend 3 experience on a piece of paper, sit it next to you, get an extra ally slot.
Yeah.
Because Leo DeLuca and Dr. Milan Christopher at the same time.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah, that being said, like I do see these two as being fairly interchangeable, which when I made most of these decks, I tried not to
force build style.
No, not force build. So I try not to include like more allies than you could have them play at a time or something like that.
I get you.
But like, if you had like someone else who wanted to play a green character, it's probably fine to let them play Leo. If you had someone else who wanted to play Dr. Milan, it's probably fine to let them play the other one. Or play him and you play something else in that slot. It's not a huge deal because, like, Dr. Milan, he does give you the +1 book, which makes investigating better. But at the end of the day, he gives you a lot of resources, which is sick. But Leo DeLuca gives you a whole, like, gaining extra resources is like kind of an extra action a turn, depending on how you look at it. And then the book is like a bonus. And Leo DeLuca also gives you an extra action, but it's a lot more flexible in what that action you can do with that action.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter so much which one you have in play. I don't think.
I'm just saying they're two great tastes that taste great together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you can have both in play and no one else on your team wants them, like do it up.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Pickpocketing, you're going to be evading enemies, and as you can see from the type line, it is illicit, so you can find it with smuggled goods, and it allows you to draw cards, which is great. It's a great time for everybody. The only thing to be aware with pickpocketing is that it can cause you to, when you draw a card, draw your caught red-handed, which causes the enemy you just evaded to stand back up. So just something to be aware of.
Yeah, pickpocket is especially strong in decks that play lots of one-shot effects, whether they are skills or events, and this deck plays many events.
Yep.
So being able to draw more cards lets you play more cards, which sounds stupid, but it's something not a lot of people really get until you spell out for them. So.
Speaking of some of these events, we got Backstab, which allows you to fight with your foot instead of your fist. Which is not too big of a deal with Finn. However, it also deals +2 damage, which is a big deal. That kills... we talk about a thing called the Asphalov Hump, which is from Lord of the Rings, the card game, where you could put progress on a location. At a certain point, they're like, dang, we have this card that helps you win too quick. So now they made it so that you had to do additional activations for it to trigger. Just like how, more often than not, you'll see enemies with 3 health, which are going to take 2 attacks to kill. This now makes it all happen in 1 attack, assuming you don't miss. But that should be obvious that I'm not going to say that for every card. We also got
this also highlights like the other style of Finn you can play, where he's got like this deck is very focused on getting clues. Because that's mostly what I found when there was support for these cycles. But you could definitely play like a more mixed Finn where you deal damage, or if you have additional cards, you could play like a combat-focused Finn. Like he is three fist is very usable, not great, mind you, but like usable. And backstab is one of the premier ways to get some extra damage.
Yeah, definitely. We have Elusive. So this is one of the cards I said is one of the strongest in the game that we never played with before it got nerfed.
Decks are stupid.
Just you disengage from every enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies. This could have like 5 actions in 1 card. And it's fast. Because it doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. That's why it's fast. But, my God. It's just like, you don't get to evade the enemies, but it's not really a problem because you can just say bye and literally like run the farthest away from your problems that you ever could. It's a strong card. We got Emergency Cash, which gives you money, which allows you to play your events because there are a lot of them. As you see, Backstab costs 3. They're not exactly crazy expensive, but they're not cheap. Sneak Attack, it's deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. Now, if only there was some way for you to easily evade enemies with Finn. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's just an obvious thing that you're going to want in Finn's deck. It's a great way to kill dudes.
My God, look at those 4 cards. That's like the green corset in first cycle. Those are good cards.
It is, yeah. Then we got Unexpected Courage. So normally in these decks, we highly promote putting Guts in it, but we didn't put Guts in for Finn. And that's mostly because you just have to accept that your brain sucks. Like,
Yeah. The game says test brain 3. If you fail, take a point for each point you fail by, and you're like, yep, bring it over here.
Yeah.
How much am I taking?
Yeah, you're like, best case scenario, I'm going to take 1. But I'm really aiming to just take 2, but I'm accepting the fact that I'm taking 3.
Yeah, like from a more like statistical point of view, it's not worth the resources that you have to put in to be able to consistently pass those tests. It's better to just face tank it.
Yeah.
Like, just accept that bad things are going to happen, and you're going to lose less resources by having them happen than you would spend trying to overcome them.
Yeah. And there's actually some things coming up once we get into these next cards that help you also fight that in a different way, in a very green way. So let's get to from the Forgotten Age. We got Lucky Cigarette Case, which the Succeed by 2 or more is kind of like a green thing. That's in, as you can see, it's in his star ability. So that's kind of what you're hoping to do all the time, or as much as you can. So it allows you to draw cards and it also takes up a slot that there's not really much competition for in this.
Yeah, the green competition for the accessory slot is pretty much the Lucky Cigarette Case and the Jellyfish Egg.
Mm-hmm. I like Garrote Wire now.
Yeah, I guess.
Good, but this Succeed by 2 or more is like your first scenario is going to be like pretty meh. But there's a card that normally I try to leave these guys, or we try to leave these guys pretty open to like when you want to upgrade cards and stuff. But like, you're going to upgrade lockpicks first and you're going to like it. And this card's really good with lockpicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't upgrade lockpicks first on Finn Edwards, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also when you get into other cycles, it really opens up, like an upgraded Opportunist will really like get that going as well if you do want to go that route with your build.
Yeah.
We have You Handle This One, which is one of my favorite cards in the game. You draw a card that has a brain test. You say, hey, you, Spellcaster, or Clue Getter with high brain, or Guardian with high brain.
Yeah, literally anybody else.
This is your problem, and I'm also going to gain 1 money from it. Like, honestly, I would play this card even without the gain 1 resource, and it's like...
Absolutely.
It's like it's just gravy. It's because you take this and then you watch them fail it, and then Bryn draws is overzealous, and you're like, everything's golden. All right.
Yeah, the best part about that card is that they don't have a choice.
It's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like, do you want to take this? You're just like, this is yours now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're playing with people you like, you should probably ask. But
yeah, you know.
We rarely do.
No, we don't. We just trust each other to make not good decisions, but not bad ones.
Yeah. We have Coup de Grace, which it allows you to deal one damage to an enemy, and if it defeats the enemy, you draw a card. It also ends your turn. This action does not provoke attacks of opportunity. So when you look at this card, there are 2 things you want to do. You want to use this on your last action, and you want to use this on an enemy that it will kill. Otherwise, you probably don't want to play Coup de Grace. It also commits for 2 fists if you ever need that in a situation, but this is a good way to, once again, get over that Asphalov hump and knock an enemy out of the game at the same time.
Yeah, there's one thing that this deck does very good in addition to getting clues, is like you do get quite a bit of testless damage actually between the Coup de Grace and the sneak attacks.
And there's actually a fun little thing with a card coming up. This is like a nice little combination with all this that actually is kind of like a package in and of itself in this deck, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm actually quite proud of this deck.
I'm actually going to probably try out some of the stuff that you have here when I do my deck coming up for our next playthrough, which should already be up at this point.
Flattering.
Perseverance. This is a great card.
It's a good card.
Don't commit it for the 2 brain symbols. You'll fail the test anyway.
Yeah. So this card is also here to once again circumvent some of that brain damage that could potentially kill you in the game.
Or heart damage. Finn's 7/7, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can die to anything.
Yeah, he's gonna more common die to brain though, just because of the way
Yeah, probably.
He's such a fragile little boy. We got Slip Away, which allows you to evade really well. You evade at 8 without any sort of other things. And if you succeed by 2 or more, which is what you're probably doing anyway, and that enemy is not elite, it doesn't ready on the upkeep phase. It's a super evade. This is like the spell. Like, I think this and lockpicks are like the spells of green. Like, they have that.
Yes, it's almost like they were planted in the cycle to synergize well with Finn Edwards.
Yeah. We got Winging It, which also, it just, you're going to get in your discard pile.
Who's good?
Yeah, getting clues is good. And then we got Hatchet Man, which is that kind of neat little combo that is built in. So you can use Hatchet Man and then use Sneak Attack to deal 3 damage, which is crazy. Like, that's pretty sweet.
3 damage for 2 resources, like technically 2 cards, but no test is like, whew.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a deal.
And also that evade is free, probably. So it's like 1 action, and then this guy's done.
It also
Or you
makes,
can just evade him and like leave him for your guardian to shoot or whatever.
Yep, there's a lot.
Well, I think it's until the end of the turn, right?
Takes damage this turn, yeah.
Yeah, so it means that you have to be the one. If you are the one who evades them, you're also the one who has to damage them.
Unless
you could get like your guardian all
unless you got something weird
jacked
going
up
on
on foot symbols.
Yeah, unless
like,
the guardian starts evading people. Now we're talking.
Yeah, a couple of guardians have like 3 foot.
Yeah.
But you can also use this with like the coup de grace for like a little less setup on killing something. You can just pop a 2 health enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always nice too.
And that's pretty fine.
Cool, I think we're on the upgrades now. So we're going to start with the core set. There's not much in the core set. There's an upgrade of Leo DeLuca. He's a little bit cheaper.
It turns out green cards in the core set are like not very good.
There also just like aren't that many that you can upgrade when you're not allowed to upgrade other colors.
Yeah. Yeah, Finn's a bit strange where there's a limit to his upgrading in green. He can only go to
4.
I think he gets 0 to 3 for
0 to
green,
3,
and then
yeah,
he gets 0 to 5 for illicit cards.
Yep, that's
which
exactly
are mostly green.
Yeah. Anyway, Leo costs 1 less resource, and I mean,
That's
5
just a
less
good.
than 6.
Yeah, it's just a good thing, right?
Yep. Sure,
Yeah,
Gamble.
this isn't like something you want to upgrade, but like if you have a couple experience kicking around, you might as well do it.
Yeah. I remember the state of green, and when we were first playing this game, we're like, I guess one of my first upgrades is going to be upgraded Leo DeLuca.
Yeah, that's tough.
Sure Gamble just makes you say no when the game says no, and then that turns it into a yes, and that's a great time for everybody.
If you're doing succeed by X or more, almost guaranteed this puts you there.
Oh yeah, I had a blast with this good.
Like, the card is sweet.
Yeah.
The game throws you one of those nasty chits, and it's like -4, and if you fail, and you're like +4, and I won't fail.
Am I stupid? Is lockpicks not in this cycle?
I can quickly look that up.
I will. You can talk about the next cards.
Yeah,
Talk about Lola.
no, Lockpacks is Carcosa.
Oh.
Good. Every time I miss something like that, I'm like, did I mess up?
Well, normally your earlier comment, if you want to play Finn, you should go you should upgrade your Skeleton Key and Lola, because those are like, upgrade these 3 cards are all really good for him. But also go buy Carcosa, whichever pack has lockpicks in, and play it.
I can actually look. I have it right here. It's in the core set.
No.
It's not just Path to Carcosa? Why are you not
Lockpicks is absolutely not in the core set.
That is 100% correct. That would imply that there was a good green card that wasn't Leo DeLuca.
Do you mean like the deluxe expansion?
Yeah, the deluxe. Yeah, Path. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I know it wasn't printed in the core set. That would have been much too kind back then.
They wouldn't do that.
It just says Path to Carcosa 31, so I'm assuming that it's from the deluxe. Anyway, let's talk about these cards that he can get and that are part of this guide. Lola Santiago, she gives him book and foot, which makes him 5 book and 5 feet. That's crazy. You also can just discover clues at your location. Like, Finn is pretty good at discovering clues at your location, but Lola is just a once a turn, spend some money to gain clues. This is especially good if like a location has 1 shroud. You're just like, I'll just start slurping. Like, no one's going to stop me. Whoa, there's a card right next to this that makes things have a Shroud of 1. So Skeleton Key is exceptional. That keyword doesn't pop up too often in these videos, but it does make it so that this actually costs 4 XP, but it does fit in his 0 to 3 deck building requirements. You can play it as Finn, and it makes a location have a Shroud of 1, which makes it very easy for you to get clues, or slurp up clues with Lola, or, you know what, if you just have a goon with like 3 book, or even 2 book, now they have a chance as well. One thing to note is that Skeleton Key's Shroud value of 1 cannot be further modified. It just sets it to a base of 1. It's just like
Turns
locked in
out.
forever. Yeah.
They don't want you to just like get to play Flashlight and be like, I'll take 3 clues off this location, please.
Yeah.
It's like they were thinking about that or something.
And then we got Ornate Bow, which is like the Finn killing machine. It's not something you can rely on consistently. It deals 3 damage, which is pretty crazy. Base, it attacks with 6 foot, and and you just don't want to miss, right? Like you're looking to just kill your target, and then be like, I'm not killing anything else this turn because of the way that you have to reload your arrow. But having 3 damage attack is really strong. Like
It's also pretty sick with the hatchet, man.
Yes.
Yeah. You can also like evade something. I mean, you can like shoot with the bow, evade something for free, then reload the bow.
Yeah. I think Finn is probably the best, apart from just his stats, right? Just that free evade makes the bow a lot better with him than some of the other green investigators.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, that's Finn.
One other small note on the lockpicks thing is like, if you do really like Finn and you would like to play him, you should pick up the Winifred Habermock starter deck when it comes out, because that one does come with a level 0 lockpicks, which is almost as good as the level 1 one actually, which makes sense. As well as a handful of other cards that are great for Finn.
Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, if you're a new player, you should grab the starter decks that are coming out. Like
at least the ones for the classes you like playing.
I think it's
maybe
just
maybe don't commit like it's like what, $100 give or take for the set of them.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in conversion rates and stuff. And like I think you'd be much better off picking up like a deluxe and like 2-ish of them than all 5 or something like that.
I agree. Yeah, because the problem is if you pick up them, you don't get scenarios out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially like if you're interested in playing a color, you want to pick up the starter deck for it.
Which most people have a preference for.
Yeah. Like if you like red, get the red one, and then play level 3
like
lucky.
Justin. Or if you like green, you get the green one like Bryn. Or if you like the other 3 colors pretty well equally, like me, you get those.
Yeah. If there's any cards that you think besides lockpicks that should go in this Finn Edwards deck, let us know in the comments below. Anyways, thanks for watching. You guys have a good one. We'll see you in the next Investigator Guide, which will be next Saturday. If there's any specific investigators you want to see that we have not made a guide for, let me know in the comments and I'll bump them up on the list. I kind of just choose randomly each week. I like put my finger up and down on the page and I say, yeah, we'll do you. So I'm looking for, if there's any priority people want, I'll make them a priority. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.